Hello folks, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. Now today you're in for a treat, I think, because we have got some serious armour. And those of you that think I do too many aeroplanes and want to see more tanks, now you get your wish. So we've got the something big, the biggest, meanest tank probably of all time in real terms, certainly in terms of reputation anyway. The Koenigs Tiger II, or King Tiger, from the German forces and the German army in World War II, of course. Introduced in 1944, summer of 44. A big, mean, vicious tank. What was it? 65 tons I think it weighed, and we'll get into that in a minute. But this is the Takom kit, which has got the full interior, I believe, and it's got Zimmering as well, so we've got pretty much everything on it. So if you like your big armour kits and you like a lot of detail, you're in for a treat, I think. So it's 135th, it is kit number 2047. I have to confess that I'm a big fan of the King Tiger. I like the Tiger and the Tiger II too. It's just such an imposing. You can understand why Allied soldiers and tankies were so frightened of them. I mean, these things were just colossal, weren't they? I mean, they were twice the size of a Sherman tank, King Tiger. Enormous. Anyway, let's have a look on the side. So, obviously, Takom have a habit of recommending MIG paints and weathering products, but we can ignore that if we wish, or we can use them if we have them. So, we've got the colour call-outs on the side. We've got on the side sort of a sprue tree sort of map, so you can see all the sprue tree parts, and then there's a couple of images showing it with the cutaway effect, which is your choice if you wish. Not really my thing, but yeah, I've got to say I think this is going to be quite an impressive kit. Let's have a look. Of course, these should do a bit of history first, shouldn't I? So obviously these came in just shortly before D-Day, and they were used on the Russian front as well in 1944. And sort of D-Day onwards they became used more and more, but they never made that many of them. There was only a few hundred ever built, but everybody, there was this thing that the Allied forces would get this thing they called the Tiger complex, where every tank they saw, even if it was a Mark III Panzer, they thought it was a Tiger. And every Tiger they saw, they thought was a King Tiger. It was like an upscaling of fear in the mind, which you can understand. Because these things with the big gun, you know, it's an advanced version of the 88mm gun, and it's just a beast, really. Very accurate, long range, could shoot at you from perhaps 50% further distance than the Shermans could shoot back. It gives you a massive headache. Anyway, let's have a look at the kit, see what we've got. So, it's the Henschel turret version, obviously. There's quite a lot of plastic in this one. I think we're going to be here for a while, so hope you've not got any other urgent appointments to go to. Oh, there is a lot of stuff. Oh, this is a good one. There's going to be some track building fun in this, I can see. Oh, wow. Gosh, it just keeps them coming. There's lots of it. My goodness. Okay, oops. Gosh, there is a lot of... By the way, I'm just going to have a little bit of extra lights to help us. Oh, we've got some correction notes, got some more tracks, some lights. That's it. Right, okay. I don't own this kit, so I have to be a little bit careful with it. However, I believe we've got resealable bags, so I'll be able to have a proper look. It's absolutely fine. Now then, where to begin? I think we'll start with the old instructions. There's so much plastic here, it's actually overwhelming me a little bit. Let's move it all out over there. If you want to see my connected, right. Okay. Gee, there's a lot of stuff to go out here. First of all, let's have a look at this. So we've got like a colour illustration sheet. Whoa. Whoa. Now I've built the Tamiya King Tiger, no internal detail, apart from the gun in the turret. It's got a bit of turret detail, but that's about it. You know, it's not bad though, actually. I mean, that's a kit that only costs, I don't know, £18–20, something like that. Maybe a little bit more. The price has gone up recently, but it wasn't bad. But here, we've got absolutely every possible detail. Look at this. So I like the way they've done it in this sort of photographic style to show you how it should really look. And that has got your gun with the breech. You've got your aimers, you've got your gunner's aimers periscope here, and your loader's got a seat over there as well. And it shows the difference. Obviously this is a general sheet, but it shows the difference between the Henschel turret, minor different discrepancies and detail differences in terms of, what is that? It's probably the pressure of the gun or something, or maybe one's a stopwatch and one's a gun pressure or something of that ilk. Could be recoil pressure, couldn't it? And then you've got different angles showing you all this detail, so you know exactly what it really ought to look like, which is really helpful. I think that this is something that too few manufacturers actually do that, to be honest. Obviously our friends at SWS Zukimura, they do it, don't they? Do it very, very well. On the other side you've then got, oh boy, look at this. You've got your engine. It's a Daimler-Benz if I'm not mistaken. And so much detail, look at this. I have to zoom out now for you to really see this properly. Look at that, full interior detail. Fire extinguishers, you've got your two engines. Is it twin engined? It is, isn't it, I think? Is it a single engine? It's confusing me. Now I think the engine's there, isn't it? The engine goes in the middle, it's just that it's got twin fans, it's just throwing me. You've got first aid kits, you've got fire extinguishers, first aid kit here, fire extinguisher here. Some amazing stuff, that's incredible detail. You've got the driver's position here. All the ammunition storage casings and sort of cabinets at the side. All your different versions of the ammunition itself. Armour piercing and high explosive. That's really good. I like the way they do this in colour as a photograph. Very clear, very, very helpful. I like that. That's a good start indeed. So, let us have a little look at what else we got. We have got a lot of correction sheets. We'll see. So what does it say? Arguably the best tank that was ever put onto the battlefield in World War II. It was very unreliable though, wasn't it? It needs a lot of servicing. That was its Achilles heel really. Especially the gearbox, very notorious. Got this, I think it's a double clutch system, isn't it? Automatic gearbox, and it had a lot of problems with that. Frontal armour, the start of production in December 43. Wow, okay, that's actually slightly earlier than I was imagining. It took just 14 days to complete each tank. Still quite a long time though. I don't think the Soviets took even 4 days, but anyway, on the T-34 I'm talking. Frontal armour is 150mm thick and the side armour 80mm thick. And it has the semi-automatic 88mm cannon firing armour-piercing or high explosive rounds. Produced by Krupp, it has a binocular gun sight and later followed by the monocular system built into the cradle. And the incredible Rheinmetall cannon with 5,800 rounds. 5,800 rounds. I don't get that. I can't believe they don't carry 5,800 rounds on the tank. What do they mean by that? I think they mean it can fire that before it needs servicing. But anyway, it was a massive tank. Powered by a Maybach engine, not Daimler as I said. 690 horsepower, top speed of 26 miles an hour. Crew of 5 consisted of tank commander, loader, gunner, driver and radio operator. They also produced a hunting tiger and a yak tiger. All tigers are coated with Zimmering from September the 11th, 1944. Sorry, until September the 11th. Then they start running out of materials and they start bothering, of course. They dominated the battlefield in terms of capabilities. Does it mention the weight? Pretty sure. Oh, 70 tonnes. I said 65. I was close. 70 tonnes. It's probably fully loaded. Right. Crinkle. So we've got, first of all, we go off into the very, very many sprues. There are lots of sprue trees on this kit. And we start off with, you've got a bathtub style. and then you're building up the support. It's like a support, almost like little bulkheads that are going to support the torsion bars across. Then you're putting your sides in, and don't forget this is going to be a long build because you've got so much detail going in here. I mean, some of these components I don't even know what they are, if I'm honest, so forgive my ignorance. But you're building up essentially your internal structure for the torsion, the axles, the torsion bars. Then you're going to go into locating points for those. Then you're building up the suspension, the ab suspension itself with the torsion bar through. So some pretty impressive detail here, it's got to be said. Drive sprockets. You've got lots and lots. 8, make 10. These are the torsion bars. Wow. Okay. Then you've got your wheels going on. It's quite a long process already, isn't it? Wheel and idle rollers going in here. Look at the detail here. You've got your pedals for the driver. Look at that. Pedals, brake, clutch, accelerator. I think it's a hand clutch, isn't it? Actually, it's probably brake and accelerator here. And then you've got obviously it's left and right control, isn't it? Now, do they control that with a wheel? I think they do. I think they have a wheel. Then you've got, this is mind blowing, the detail here. Oh my goodness, you've got the seats going in, you've got the support brackets for the seats, and you're building your engine, your Maybach engine, you start building that up with the gearbox here. Oops, sorry, here. So it's quite a lot of instructions here. Placing that in the back there, idler roller at the back. Is it the idler roller though, or is it the drive roller? It must be idler roller. Must be. Just something that's just occurred to me. I'm a bit weak on the knowledge of this tank. You've got your drive shafts here, very obvious drive shafts. I think it's like an anti-roll bar here. So much of it though. Wow. This is going to take you a while, isn't it? It's going to be months and months building this one. I mean, it could even be a year's project. Then you're building up your Maybach engine, which looks really good based on the images. And nice and clear, the instructions, and you know, they're stapled. You don't have to assemble them or anything. They don't fall to bits. Quite good instructions, these. Yeah, you've got your exhaust system going on. Both sides. Exhaust sort of silencer, if that's the right word. Filter and silencer. Starter motor going on the side, alternator going on the side, cooling fans on the top, and then assembling it in, and there's so much plumbing. I mean, this is incredible. It just goes on and on, doesn't it? Every detail is there, isn't it? Sheesh. Wow. Got like a walking bits of armour plating going in there. Oil catch tank, exhaust system, back like an exhaust back box straight out of the engine, breather pipes. Gosh, mind blowing! This is incredible. I mean, it just keeps on coming. And you've got your stowage boxes going on the side, fans there going on the top, cooling system fans. It's a liquid cooled engine, but obviously it needs a lot of cooling because it's quite enclosed. And you've got your whole of the basic chassis sort of coming towards completion. Then you start putting in your ammunition storage racks. 88mm ammunition. And looks like we've got some photo etch going in there. And there's a lot of this ammo, a lot of ammo going in here, gosh. And you've got your tools, you start doing your upper hull. Putting on your tools, spades, hatchet, crowbar for the tracks, track link bar. Then you've got your outer hatches with the vents that they need, and then you've got the filter cover, the mesh covers that go onto the top of the filters for the fans. Another axe of some description. and your tow cables coming in here. You get your front glasses. There's like an internal one as well, the internal face of it, which obviously you wouldn't normally see. Oops, you wouldn't normally see that if you didn't have that interior kit. And you've got your ball system for your machine gun, MG34 I think it is. And then you've got your side skirt protection armour that's going down the side here. I just wondered how long this would take me to build. I think this would take me about 6 months to do it well, you know. Yep, then you've got your machine gun going in there, MG34 goes in. And so actuation system for the hatches. And then various, the covers for the periscopes going on there. Front light, headlight, and then you actually bring the top down onto the main chassis. Now it shows the tracks. Okay, it just shows the tracks suddenly built instantly. No, that's not the reality. This is the reality here. You've got to do this many times. Yeah, building those tracks up. Ouch. That's gonna be fun, isn't it? There's many bags of this. Come to that in a minute. And then you've got your rear panel going on the back, and you've got your toe sort of anchorage and reinforced here. These are like the reinforcements for the towing cables at the front. So it attaches to the chassis. And then we've got your jack. That's the jack for the tank, would you believe, at the back. Good luck jacking that up. And then you're making up your exhaust system, where it comes out of the back panel and through the sort of silencers stroke filters and the armour plate to protect them, obviously. And then you're building up your turret. I'm going to zoom you out. Building up your turret here. Very conventional, that just puts a top on, and then you've got the internal detail to go in there with your cupola ring with its mounting points, and also of course it has all the periscopes built into it you need to do. And then we've got various hatches. We've got the sort of frontal, sorry, the rear hatch here. This is the rear hatch, escape hatch. And then you've got all your mounting hooks that go on the outside for spare links and bits of track link, etc. And then we have got all this detail going in, so we're showing it what it would look like inside, looking up, although it's looking down in the image, but what it would look like if you looked up, and how the hatch looks from the inside, which is pretty damn impressive, isn't it? I mean, that's very good. Closed, open. And you're putting in all these periscopes I mentioned on your cupola, and the spare track links going on to the hooks we just seen arranged. And then we've got the hatches themselves going on, and then we're into the detail of the lower part of the turret, the internal detail, with all these mechanisms that are driving the system, and the preparation here for the actual muzzle of the gun itself. Filters, there's little stowage boxes. It's amazing, isn't it? Just going on and on and on and on. Every detail's here. Incredible, this already. So, yes, you've got your seats going in there, and you're getting ready for the gun. Basically, it's just basically the floor of the turret, and then you're building in the from the central floor area. You're building in the armour plate. The floor of the actual overall turret section, and seats are going in. And then we're onto the ammunition, more of it. This is the ammunition that goes in the turret this time, lots and lots of that, armour piercing and high explosive. And then we're building the actual breech itself of the gun, and there's quite a lot here, there's quite a lot of detail here. It's actually got the opening breech section where the actual ammunition is slid through. That's incredible. And then you've got the some raising and lowering breech piece here. And then you've got the recoil suppression system, shockers if you like, here. Incredible. It's just mind-blowing this. I feel exhausted just reading the instructions. It looks fantastic. So then you've got the actual gun finally, the back end of the gun going in, and then the main gun you're building up here with your muzzle and your main barrel all being put together here, and your mantlet going in there, and then just finally a couple of filters and you put your turret on and you're good to go. My goodness, what an incredible, huge instruction sheet that is. So much detail. When you've got your in their typical coloured style, which I quite like actually, the different options. So we've got one that's in Normandy, one that's in Budapest, and that's the two options in fact. Ooh, wow. That's quite a lot to take in, I've got to be honest. It's a really impressive, nice instructions, fairly clear I think. Yeah, you don't have to assemble them, which is always good. Now then, what have we here? Oh, there's some more options. I said there was only two. No, I thought there was more too. So you've also got Königsberg Tiger in Germany in January 45. There's one in Poland as well, with the Green Knights, and again slightly different schemes, the different theatres, and then on the other side it's just offering you a bit more like a repeat showing the sprue trees, but a very nice edition. I like these colour editions that they do very well. Quite impressed so far. So far so good. Now then, are you bored, no hobbies, nothing to do, summer holidays, nowhere to go because of lockdown or whatever? Here's your answer. This will eat time just as quickly as a PlayStation will. Except that at the end of this you'll have something to show for your time. So we have got many tracks. A lot of links, as Sarah Blackwood put it. Okay, so they look quite nicely formed. Let's have a look. Won't open them all, we'll just get a few out here. So you've got this, they don't have pins, do they? They do just glue together, rather like, I was going to say, not like the Great Wall Hobby, Ryefield. They have a system where you pin them in with plastic pins, which is actually not a bad system, but time consuming. With these, I think you just basically glue them side by side like that. I don't know if you can see this. Zoom in a bit more. Try and get the zoom working. They basically go quite simply actually, just a lot of work. So, what we have here, they go basically like so, like that, and you just repeat that. And it won't be that complicated, just a lot of work, you know, just a lot of gluing, preparing, and you just got to keep going basically, and going and going and going. So those are the tracks, which they look okay. I don't see any nasty ejector pin marks on them, which you get on some people's tracks. Those look really nicely formed, in fairness. Don't see that's too much of a problem. So we've got 1, 2, 3 bags of those, which I will carefully put back in the box for the owner. And then we have got some interesting goodies. It looks like we have some photo etch here. Let's have a nosy at this. If I can get in. Which way is it? Yes, that way. Careful so it doesn't affect glue. It sticks back for us. Now, lots and lots of goodies here, and quite a few corrections. So we've got some lovely photo etch grills and grates, sort of thing that you would see here in the on the grills, of course, at the top. and yeah, that's very nice. They're very thin actually, quite like those. Those are nice. Much more sort of thin and gracious looking than they often are. Look at that, nice and thin photo etch this. Super thin. Yeah. That, very thin. A lot of photo etch is super thick and it just doesn't always look very scale like, and this doesn't. This is great. It's very nice. Okay. Then we've got some stencil data. Tons of it. Can't quite read what it's pertaining to. I've got a feeling it's tracks mainly. I think it might be to do with the it might be some of this might be internal as well. Very fine. It's got instruments here. The driver's instruments, that's quite good. Yes, we like that. And then more of this lovely thin photo etch. So look at this, which is again, it's very thin. See it? It's gossamer thin. Very nice. And we've got, of course, these. Yes, these are actually the. This is beautifully done. This is the back end of the, basically the striker pin area of the actual shells themselves. See that? All the different types of ammo, high explosive and armour piercing. That's the striker pin at the bottom of the shell, the base of the shell. That is beautiful. It's got some detail which I just can't make out. You might see it better than me if I'm getting close. Can you see what it says? Because I can't quite make it out. Very fine. Do you know, I think that's some of the nicest photo etch I think I've ever seen. It's so thin, it's so well engraved, it's beautiful. I am impressed with that. That's gorgeous, gorgeous. No other word for it. And then we've got some main little decals here with your knights, charging knights. I won't take them out of the seal bag. They look really nice, Takom's own decals. The green knights or the red knights. Very good. Let's pop those back in there together. Try and seal it all back up. We've also got a correction sheet here. Correction. Interesting. Quite sure what that corrects relative to what was wrong in the first place. So Tony eyes at the back, and then there's another one here. They're all a bit random, these pieces of paper, I've got to say. It's like they've done a correction, then they found another one, and then another one. Okay, and then we've got, yeah, this is the back end, obviously. It's like the breather box, isn't it? Engine breather box, I think. Interesting. We'll pop those together, I think, we're going to see. Stick them back in there, all together, so they're only floating around. Okay, well, I've got to say that bag was a bit of a delight, really. I'm much impressed. Much impressed with that. Why can't I get the air out of here? There we go. Okay, next then we have the turret itself. Now this is very nicely covered in with a Zimmering finish all ready for you. It's not like the Tamiya one that I did where you have to get a separate kit of Zimmering and finish it with self-adhesive stick-on Zimmering, which is always a bit messy. And yeah, that and if any of you have seen my King Tiger, I think you probably have, maybe once or twice in the past. Came out really well actually, but over time it's not good because you've got this self-adhesive Zimmering, and you know that over time it's going to peel off. This is far better to have it moulded like this. So let's have a little sneaky look in here. And you can see that it's got the panel on the side where they often have ID markings, and they make it smooth so that they can put their sort of squadron division number on there. But that is a very nice bit of moulding. Look at that. That's the back where the hatch is. Some lovely moulding there. The Zimmer, it looks really kind of random looking, and yeah, it's very nicely done. Is that lovely? Nice turret. Top of the turret, I should say. Okay. Now then, it's going to take a little while. What have we got? In no particular order. I'll tell you what, let's go with the big bits first. Is that a sealed bag? Oh dear, I think we have a sealed bag here. Well, I don't think I'm going to open that. It doesn't stop us having a good look, does it? Let's have a look. It's quite a nice bag. Look at the Zimmering on this. This is the top of the main hull, obviously. The Zimmering there. That's again very, very nicely done. And at the front, some great detail there. There's a sort of randomness to it, you know, a sort of distortion where they've done it around the opening for the machine gun. You see that? Yeah, that's nice. You've even got the ring for the gear ring for the actual turret itself. Very detailed. Lovely. And then underneath we've got this the bathtub style bottom hull. And then you've got your various escape hatches underneath. Well, they may be just access hatches. I'm just realising I don't think you can escape through that. It's too small, isn't it, really? I think it's just access for doing work on the suspension. But you might stick your head through. That's about all you get through there, I think. It's a shame that I thought that was a resealable bag, but it's definitely not. It's definitely a sealed in the old school bag. So, I'm afraid we'll just have to pass on that. But you know, you see it all pretty much there anyway. Right, the rest we know are resealable bags, so we're going to crack into these. Let's have a look what we've got here. I'll zoom you out. Here we go. I've got to say, this is the nicest tank kit I think I've seen since the Riffield kits. I had the Riffield Tiger, which I don't think I did a review on that, did I? I don't think I did a review on that. What did I? Can't remember. And also the Riffield Challenger 2, which I definitely didn't do a review on that. But I did see it, and that was really impressive. You know, absolutely fantastic. And this is right up there, to be honest. I mean, look at this. You've got your Maybach engine. Maybach, I think is the correct pronunciation, if they tell me. Look at this, you've got lots and lots of detail here. That's really nice. You've got the back panel here for the rear of the hull, complete with lots of connectors and various components. You've got top of the engine there, and you've got your engine sides for the cylinders here. Well, cylinder head, I think it is, isn't it? Cylinder heads. And you've got, you see the bit of a walkway you've got there. The walkway gridding on it around the outside, that's nice. Very nicely moulded, that. Lovely. Can't fault it at all, no flash, no nothing. Super. That's that one. That's quite a good start, I think, for the main screen. You know what's going to happen here? I'm never going to get this back in this box. Never. It's going to elude me. We'll be doing that later. Right. A couple more here. We've got a small one. A gun on it. Can I get into this? Oh no. Now then. I think they've not got a resealable bag. There's a mixture. Some of the bags are resealable and some just aren't. I don't really want to open non-resealable bags, I've got to be fair. to the owner. Strange though that they've done that. They've got crimp bags and resealable all mixed up. Seems that it's the crimped ones that are the smaller sprues. But let's have a look anyway. You can still see quite a lot of detail. So this is all concerning the breech of the gun, basically. So we've got the suppression shockers here, which looks really good. Got the main breech section there. Look at how nicely moulded this is. Very, very good. And the breech itself here, the back plate and the inner breech. You shove your shell up there and then slub it shut good and tight, and off you go. Then you've got your, down here you've got the NG34, where it goes through the front glasses of the actual hull and its mounting. You've got, yeah, it's actually the top of it, isn't it? It's only just the top there. That's the top, and that's the underside. It's quite interesting the way they've done it. That's the right way up, this way up. But it's beautiful. Look at some of the fine moulding they've got here and some of these components. Very, very fine stuff indeed. And then we've got the side plate of the breech inside. Sort of the guard in effect, isn't it? So there you go, putting your hands on the hot breech. Well, that's beautiful. Can't fault that either. That one we've already... No, we haven't seen this one. This is... right. Something I've overlooked here, actually. When I first showed you the rear, that was the non-Zimmering rear. Now we have the Zimmering rear, and this is in the resealable bag, so here we go. So this is a bit different. So we've got the rear of the chassis again. Whoops. But this time with beautiful Zimmering. Look at that. That's really nicely done. Yeah, and it looks kind of random. It's got patches in it. It's very, very nice. And again, all the Zimmering panels are on this one sprue. So you've got the front sort of glasses mantlet area. And that's the actual mantlet itself. And then you've got the cannon, and it's even got Zimmering there, as you can see, on the rear of that cannon mounting. The rear hatch there, a lot of rectangular hatch. Then you've got your machine gun port, Zimmering on top of that as well. Fabulous. Oh, it's just lovely, isn't it, really? And then you've got your, what's that? I'm trying to think. That's the rear section, is it? That covers the engine? No. Lower section at the front, sorry. Yes, it's the lower section at the front of the hull. It goes on the front of the hull. Yeah. That is amazing. And then you've got the couple of the two hatches that go on top of the turret. Again, all Zimmerated. Beautiful. Beautiful. And there's nothing, there's no flash, there's no ejector pins anywhere, there shouldn't be. That's cracking. Oops, let's see if we can get this in properly. That is a lovely sprue. Very impressive. Next one. Now tell me, oh, they've done it again. Why have they mixed up? I think I know what's happened here. Some of these again are coming in bags that are not resealable, and some that are in resealable bags. And it basically, I think the original kit parts are in the resealable bags, and I think it's the differentiating parts that are the Zimmering parts or unique to this version with the internal detail. They've put them in these crimping bags, and I am very, very reluctant to open those. So I think we'll just go with carrying as we are, really. You're still going to see plenty of detail, and on the bigger stuff you'll see all of it. Now then, here, what have we got? We've got all this internal stuff, and the cables, towing cables, tools, spades, we've got jacks, we've got prizing tools for the tracks here. And crowbar basically And then there's all manner of little bits, isn't there? Then we've got more parts of the machine gun here. That's the lower half, actually. Yeah, and then you see where the trigger is there. Yep, see the pistol grip and trigger. Absolutely incredible. Really fine moulding. Some super details here. Very, very nice. Yep. Stowage boxes. Parts of the jack. Got cutters here, look. Wire cutters. Bolt cutters actually. Yeah. Very impressive moulding, I have to say. Nothing wrong with that at all. Another crimped one. No, look, it's a resealable one. This is very odd the way they've mixed them up, isn't it? How curious. As I say, I think it's like the latest generation. Right, this time we can go in and have a real look. How about this? All manner of stuff here. We've got little bits of suspension. We've got the drive shaft. That's nice. Wow, that's a beautiful bit of moulding, isn't it? Universal joint at each end. What have we got here? We've got alternators and starter motors. Stowage boxes. We've got part of the flooring area here. Some of that high grip flooring grating. So look at this. There's some incredible detail. There's just so many components. It's impossible to know what they are unless you're basically an expert on the King Tiger and a mechanic. Because there's broken it down so much to little parts that are internal, many of them. Only a mechanic would really know what they all are. I defy anybody to know what these parts are. Yes, some are obvious, but others, no. That's part of the gearbox, isn't it there? Gearbox casing. But the moulding's exquisite. Nice plastic. Like a firm plastic, actually. Not soft. That's a nice sprue again. It's a joy, this. I'm most taken with it. I just love the kit. There's some really nice armour out there now. Takom1, one of the best. But I'd rate Takom1 rifle as the best two manufacturers at the moment, in my humble opinion. Now then, here's something really exciting. The actual gun barrel. The gun and its muzzle. Got a treat here because it's it's an aftermarket piece. Don't think, could be wrong, but I don't think that's part of the kit. Is that right? Are you sure? Let's have a check. I might be wrong. No, it is. I'm right. Yeah, it has a plastic barrel. So this is an aftermarket sort of icing on the cake. Look at this. What a beauty. Look at that. Oh, yes. Any rifling? My glasses are letting me down. I can't see it. It's so small. Let's just have a look at these. Now I use something similar to this. I think it's is it a master model? Something like that. And it's got a beautiful, superb looking muzzle. Look at this. Look at this. So what have we got? We've got two optional muzzles. Two muzzles? No. Oh, I keep dropping it. Are we ready? There we go. In your own time, Mr. Camera. There we go, muzzle. That's the flash illuminator, and then there's the other part, the front part of the muzzle. Yeah. That's nice, isn't it? Very, very nice. All in brass, yeah. Beautiful. And that's the ring. Obviously this will go like so. I'll be very gentle here. They don't cross thread anything. There we are. Like so. That's nice, isn't it? And then that goes on there, like so. Very nice. And there's different, there's like a collaring that goes at the back of where that fits on, and there's different collarings that are included. That is lovely. I'll be getting into trouble. The owner will see me doing that and think I've started building it. No, it's okay. No problem. There we are. Put that back in. Well, that's a lovely addition, and it really does, you know, especially on a big kit like this. Having the metal gun barrel set, I think it makes all the difference. I put one on my Tamiya King Tiger, but I did have a bit of a problem in that the weight of the barrel, this doesn't seem too bad, but the weight on mine is really heavy. I think it might be a longer version of it, but it may go inside more. And it really does, it wants to drop down all the time, and it doesn't have much elevation, let's put it that way. Right, here we are, another nice bag we can open. I mean, it's just a joy, there's just so much of it. This is going to be a long review of it. It's a treat. It's a treat for me, don't mind you. Right, so zoom in a bit. So here we've got some stowage boxes and various parts of sort of support structure internally. Here, for example, which is the sort of the rear sort of main member, bracing member, the rear of the tank. Here you've got your I'm not sure, are they fuel tanks or are they actually lockers? I think they're actually storage boxes, aren't they? And then you've got various parts here. You've got a little bit of the drive system here. I think that's the drive system. Obviously you've got the end of the engine there with its V. Did we decide how many cylinders it was? Is it a V12? Can't remember. Memory's failed me again. Didn't do enough research. And then we've got just various parts, really. Parts of the exhaust system here, as it comes out of the engine, that is. And various little boxes and a little bit of a seat here. You see by the padding. Very nice sprue. Again, no flash, no problems, no nasty bad moulding or anything like that. It's kind of premium, isn't it? The Takom. They always seem to do a very good job. No complaints there at all. Then, another big sprue here. Now then, the wheels. Getting some wheels. Tiger wheels and torsion bars, and there's two of everything here, I think. Is that right? Yeah, it's just a duplication, so we can actually put one back straight away. Keep the bag open for me. That's it. Now then. So look at this. This is nice. This is nice. Look at these. Beautiful, beautiful wheels. Idler wheel, drive sprocket. Oh, those are nicely done, aren't they? And you've got bits of your exhaust system here and here, and then you've got your wheel caps nuts here. Are they locking wheel nuts like you get on a car? I don't know. And then you've got the torsion bars, suspension pieces, which look to be slide moulded, I'd say. Look at that on the other side. That's really nice. Oh yes, they made these very, very nice. And then you've got your torsion bars that go across inside, from side to side here. A lovely sprue. It's a little bit, I was going to say, it's a little bit softly moulded. It strikes me, this sprue. I don't know why. It seems different. No, maybe it's just the parts the way they are. But yeah, it doesn't look as sharp as Ryefield. I don't think that's a criticism. It's just a slight difference, I think. Some nice parts. Look at the way they've formed up these beautiful tow hooks. Very, very nice. And clamps here. That's a beauty. It's a beauty. And then you've got your little turret hooks that suspend the spare tracks, etc. That is a gorgeous sprue. Question is, can I get it back in? I think did it all wrong. Get it the other way around. Have a little fight with it. Here we go. I think there's need to go out the top. It's not as easy as it looks. Easy at all. It's easy to do them all together. Like that. Yes, well that's fighting me, so we'll just do that later, right? I think we'll just do the logical thing, you'll see that. Right, next. It's far better to do it off camera, I think, when you've got time. So, oh, we've got some nice parts here. Look at this. Look at this. Some large, large parts. So, we've got obviously the towing cables here. Those are nice, aren't they? Those are lovely and crisp. Look at that, complete with all the fixing points. Tension, torsion bar that goes across it. And the hooks. Hooks and eyes. Nice. And you've got your exhaust armour on the exhaust protectors here. That's very nice. And then you've got, I think it's the internal side of the rear internal structure. You've got your engine bay cover and your cooling fans covers. And then you've got your big, zoom out for this a bit, your big side skirts, sponsons, armour sponsons as it were, to protect the top of the track. Very nice. And then you've got your drive hubs as they come out of the actual chassis there. A cracker, very nice. Again, lots of lovely detail. Superb. No problem with that one. That one went back in nicely. Looks like the other one fought me. Right, and we've got. Have we got a resealable? Yes, we have got a resealable. Come on. Yeah, sorry about that. Perhaps what I should have when I do these vids is I should have one of those signs that they have, you know, that shows sort of like a test card sign. Somebody looking a bit stressed or manic, saying technical difficulties every time there's a blank screen. Right, now then we've got the sides of the actual sort of chassis here, and very nice it looks too. Look at the way they've portrayed these exits for the torsion bars. Torsion bar shafts come out here obviously, but look at some of the detail here. Look at that, where they've got the flanges. That's beautifully done. What a nice bit of moulding. And then we've got this lovely high grip flooring area, which is around the turret. On the other side, slightly different detail obviously on the side in terms of some of the systems that are protruding. You've got some electrical systems here with wires coming out, beautifully moulded again. I think that is stunning, stunning. And then you've got this internal, goes inside the chassis on the other side as it were, where the torsion bars are going to come through, here and here. Very nice that, very nice. Yes, I'm impressed. Very impressed, I'm very impressed. Full stop at the moment, it's looking good. Could be getting a good score this kid. Could be. Don't let me down now, whatever you do. It's interesting actually if you think about it, because in the sort of in the wider scheme of things, you think about some of the recent releases that we've looked at and that are out in the market, others I haven't looked at. Something I won't be doing, for example, I won't be doing the Tamiya F4B Phantom, just so you know. Not very interested. I like the Phantom, but not particularly interested in that version, and everybody's done it to death. And it's £100! And I thought that so many people have been over that with a fine tooth comb. There's no point in me doing it as well, it seems a bit pointless. But the point I was going to make was about the way that these different manufacturers approach these kits. So I have to say that these Takom and Rifle I've referred to, who I think are the best of the best on tanks armour, it would be if they gave us a resealable bag. and done it again. But they have a different approach. So you get to someone like Great Wall Hobby, who make a bit of a mess of the instructions, if we're honest. Not doing it well. Hong Kong model, not great at their instructions either, to be honest, a bit silly. Very unclear Hong Kong models are. I don't think they communicate the detail in the instructions that they need to. Takom and Rifle seem to do it really well. Fix Revel, all these people. Tamiya, of course, brilliantly. In fact, Tamiya, if I was to criticise them for anything, I'd say that sometimes they get a little bit too much information and can actually be very confusing sometimes. A little bit of an example of that Spitfire Mark 1A, but anyway. But no, it's just that, I find it strange that you've got these manufacturers now who are producing such beautiful moulding, but they can't see it through all the way. This one, in fairness, is really good. It could do with a bit more in terms of, I don't know how much it was, I think it was about £70 or some £65. Not cheap because of the full interior. Maybe more than that, actually, 90. Anyway, not cheap, but the plastic is superb. But it's more than just the plastic, isn't it? Especially when you're looking at a review as you're doing there. You're thinking, well, I want more than just good plastic. I want it to be nicely presented with an informative bit of history, some colour pictures. Look at the Tamiya, take an example, the Sheridan tank they did in the Vietnam War. They did that beautifully. They did it with these colour supplements, with colour photographs and descriptions of the tank in operation. Really good, And then Zokimura, they're the same. They really think it through and do it well. And of course Wings, who are probably the ultimate standard. Anyway, I'm afraid while I've been bottling away, we're not going to get into this because it just does not have a resealable bag. Why ever not? I don't know, but let's have a look. I think we'll be okay. It's only got the gun, which we're probably not going to be using anyway. Let's have a look closer though. Try not to get too many reflections. This is where my additional lights actually work against me a little bit if we've got to look through a bag. So, see what I mean? There we go. So you can see that's the standard gun. Then you've got the top of the turret and the base of the turret. It's nicely detailed. There's some really good stuff going on there. Look at the detail there. Brackets and electrical wiring and fixings for it. That's absolutely brilliant. Very nice. And you've got the standard mantlet. So, and then you've got these are the frames here. Frames for the mesh filters on top of the engine. So we'll move on from that one. That's sort of done. Then we have got. Have we got a resealable bag? Come on, you can do it. Yes, we have. Then we've got this one. We've got lots of small parts. This should be quite good. Yeah, they mixed up the resealable and the non-resealable. We've got a duplicate here, so we'll just put one back. Helps keep the bag in shape. So, what have we got? Yes, all sorts of things. We've got, looks like a drive shaft system here. Part of the drive shafts, I think that is. So many small parts, I have no idea what they are, quite frankly. I'm suspecting this is part of the suspension, top of the suspension, like a cover. Perhaps an adjustment hatch cover. And then we've got, that's beautifully done, isn't it? Look at that. That is very nice, the fan on top of the engine. And then we've got a couple of access hatches, and I think that's just like a cooling vent box, some description. And you've got some tiny little hooks, hook-like eyes and hooks. But again, the moulding quality is really outstanding. I can't fault them for this. It's just beautiful. So you've got two lots of that. So we'll pop that back in there, because I think I'm going easy. It's funny how some of the resealable bags it goes in no problem at all. Okay. Is this resealable? Yes, it is. Sorry, zoom you back in. I must stop doing that. Green screen doesn't win you many fans. Unless it's Star Wars and you're doing special effects. Oh, you found me. I can't even do a sort of title screen for my videos. Right, let's have a look. Oh, whoa! This is a feast for the eyes. Look at this. So we've got this this floor section where they stand on. like the standing plate part of the turret where everything's mounted onto. That's really nice. Look at the floor hatching, high grip surface. That's stunning, isn't it? Various plates, parts of the turret ring. We've got parts of the cooling system here, pipes for the cooling system. Various brackets, parts of the exhaust, more cooling system here. Very nice. And then we're into the armour shells, and there are many of them, all with their brackets and stowage rack. I mean, those are just beautiful. Look at the tips of the shells. Can you see that? So you get the detail in. Look at the tips of the shells, they've got the rings on them. So nicely done. Absolutely fabulous. And you've got the second row where you've got the rows. Some have got like 6, some have got 2 in, some have got 3. It's very random. All designed just to fit a shell in wherever you can, I guess. Look at that. So many. Absolutely stunning. And then at the end we've got lots of bits of wiring and piping and unions, levers. Quite a lot of it looks like cooling system to me, to be honest. Beautifully moulded. Stunning. That's your instrument panel there. There, instrument panel, the driver. That's a lovely sprue. This is actually reminding me of wings. I'm talking about the moulding now, not necessarily the presentation, but moulding. I think that's lovely. And that leaves us with just 3 sprues left. Now then, I'll come back a bit so you can see it, that would help. Is it resealable? Please be resealable. Yes, it is. I think that's the first time that's been opened, actually. It's made that noise it makes when it's fresh. Alright. Yes, look at this. Look at some of the detail again here. We've got the hatches, the internal and external side. That's the outside, that's the inside. We've got a little turn wheel to open the hatch. There's your muzzle, part of the muzzle. That's if you're going to use the plastic one, of course. And then over here we've got the cupola, 2 cupolas, into which obviously you're going to put your periscopes in here, into these holes. And then you've got a little fan there, fan vent, this one. And again, various access hatches. It's beautiful, isn't it, that? Yes, yes, I'm very impressed. Can't fault it. Superb. And then we have one more, which is indeed a different one, and this is also going to be something we can have a proper look at because it's also got a nice resealable bag. He says, find the end. There we go. So this is the last of the big grey sprues. I feel like I've been doing this for hours. It's huge. It's just got so much detail that goes inside it. It's a mammoth task just to review it and build it. So here you've got your gunner and your the gunner's seat and the commander's seat, I think it is. You've got little winding. Look at this little winding wheel for winding the gun. So it's all to do with the gun and the rear breech area, isn't it? There's various levers and wheels. Again, the detail is just exquisite, and it's faultless. You know, there's no flash on this at all. 0. Again, more shells. Many shells. they just keep on coming, don't they? They're beautiful, beautiful. And with those striker plates on the back that's in the photo etch, it will look stunning. That photo etch is probably the nicest I've ever seen. I can't think of better photo etch. It was so thin and so nicely engraved. I think it was stunning. Now look at some of these parts. Look at some of the detailed moulding that's gone into these. It's incredible. Yeah. I wonder how even they managed to get the mould that fine, really. I'm sure there's lots of tricks of the trade. Look at that. Gears. Oh, that gear's nice, isn't it? That looks cool. Get closer. All the bolts, you've got some sort of extraction system. I think that's an air filtration system, that. Or possibly a gas filter, in fact. It's amazing, to be honest. And that's the last big sprue. You know, they talk about when you see something you don't like and they say you can't unsee it. Well, this is like the opposite. This is stuff you can't unsee that's really, really nice, isn't it? I think this is as fine a quality of injection moulding as I've seen on anything. I'm struggling to think of one that's actually better than this. I think the Ryfield is an equal to it. They've certainly got it well, and of course to be fair to Hong Kong model, their Lancaster, the moulding was very good, apart from where they'd removed the fuselages from some mega sprue that must have had it on. Didn't like that very much, if I'm honest, but other than that, it was really nice. Only let down, of course, by its rather awful instructions. Now, bringing it back, there is one more sprue, but it's in a sealed bag, and it's just a little one. All it is the periscopes and a couple of light lenses. So I'll just have a quick look at those in the bag. Not very critical, is it, on something like that, whether they're clear or not that clear. But they are, in fairness, they do look really, really good. Can't see any, whoops, there we go. Can't see any obvious problems there at all. So there we have it. So that is the mighty King Tiger, or Tiger 2, or Königstiger, as the Wehrmacht called it. The only reservation I have, and this is me being looking for trouble, you know, that doesn't really exist, but the instructions, they're just something so good as that, something such a beautiful bit of modelling. They could have done a bit more with the instructions in terms of, you know, additional sheets. The colour sheet that shows the sort of photographs of how it should look, that is brilliant. But I just wish they'd done another sheet with some sort of historical data and some photographs in theatre. That would have made it, I think, 10 out of 10. As it is, I'm going to give it 9.7. I'm being a bit picky, but it is. It's a beautiful kit, and it's one of the nicest tank kits I've ever seen. I say the Ryfield Tiger was probably a rival to it, and they did this Challenger 2. That's also beautiful. What it goes together like, I don't know. I tell you what, though, that's going to be a long project if you do it really well. But that is probably right up there. It's probably as good an armour kit as I've ever seen. So 9.7 out of 10, I think is reasonable. Call it 10 out of 10 if you like, you know, it's that close. But yeah, beautiful kit. Very strongly recommend that one to you. No hesitation. Can't remember what it costs. I think it's maybe £80 or £90. It's not a cheap kit, but that's because it's got all the additional detail. They do a version without that. It's more like £45, £50, I think. So you pay your money, you take your choice. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the review. Thought it was fair. Sorry it was a bit long. There's a lot of plastic in that kit. Getting it back in the box is going to be a challenge, I think. Never mind the bags. Hope you found it was interesting. Hope you give me 10 out of 10. Certainly a thumbs up at least. And if you haven't joined us as a subscriber and you'd like to see more of this kind of thing, then please tick the subscriber button. And if you are already a subscriber, don't forget to ding the notification bell, and that'll make sure you get early warning as soon as we've uploaded the next, hopefully exciting and stimulating video. Don't forget to comment, and please like and share if you thought it was interesting. And we hope to see you all back here again in the very near future. In the meantime, just want to say thanks very much for staying with me. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, because I did enjoy this one, I've got to say. Thanks a lot. I hope you stay safe and stay well. Thanks for joining me, and until next time, take care and bye for now.